Hello friends, I am Mr. Sanjay K. Bhadke, presently working as an assistant professor in Department of Civil Engineering at Tulsiramji Gaikwad Patil College of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur. Friends, we know that our subject Transportation Engineering 1, it is divided into two parts. One is Highway Engineering and second one is Bridge Engineering. So today we are going to discuss about the brief of bridge engineering. In last class, we already discussed the basic concept which are related with the bridge engineering. So today's topic is introduction to the bridge engineering. In last class, we already seen that what do we mean by bridge engineering, what are the various types of bridge engineering, and today we are going to discuss some additional things which are related with the bridge engineering. So here in this figure, you can see this is the one picture of bridge. So by seeing this picture, we can understand that this bridge can be constructed with the RCC material. Also, it is constructed with the help of various types of cables. So here you can see this is the combination of cable bridge and this is the combination of RCC bridge. And we already know there are various types of bridges uh, which are useful as per their locations and transport system. So this is one of the bridge which may be constructed with the help of RCC material, and for the load balancing here we are using various types of cables. So in this picture you can see these are the various cables which normally we are using for the load balancing, and these cables is called as the suspension cables, and which help us to carry out the total weight of this bridge towards the earth surface. So this is the main work of this cable. To balance the load, these cables are useful. Now you can see this is the second pictures of bridge. This type of bridge is called as the suspension bridge, or this type of bridge is called as the cable bridge. So you can see here these bridges are constructed over the water, and I think in last class we discussed about the how this construction is done on the water. So for that case we are using various types of coffer dam. Coffer dam is a temporary structure which normally used for the construction of various bridges over the water. So in last class we have discussed this concept, and here you can see this is the combination of reinforced structure, and this is the combination of various cables. So here again these cables are useful for the balancing the load and transfer total load towards the earth. Now through this bridge engineering, what we are going to understand and what are various concepts which we are going to study. So here we are going to study about the different structural forms. Means what do you mean by culverts, what are the various type of culverts, what do you mean by causeway, minor and major bridges, suitability of bridges and their choice, what do you mean by precast and post tension construction, what is girder launching operation, what do you mean by bridge bearing. Bridge bearing is one of the new concept, and it is very important concept that you should understand what is bridge bearing, what are the various application and uses of the bridge bearing, and what is the bridge architecture. So these are various points which we are going to cover under this topic. What are the specific objectives? The specific objectives of this course is that the student should know about the bridge design and its various components and bridge hydrology. So student, one thing you have to understand, here we are not going to design the bridge. Here we should understand the various terminology which is related with the bridge engineering. What do you mean by bridge engineering, and what are the various components which is related with the bridge hydrology. You should understand the various types of bridge and their design aspect. We are, I once again tell you that we are not going to design, but you should understand the various design concept of the bridges. So these are the some course outcome which we should understand, so that this subject will be useful for your future. So there are various types of bridges. Some bridges are the small bridges, some bridges are the large bridges. So we are constructing the bridges as per their requirement. So what do you mean by causeway? A road causeway is a dip which allows the flood to pass over it. It may or may not having opening or vent for the lower water of flow. Matlab, what is the basic application of causeway? If you want to control the flow of the water, in that case, we are using this type of small structure. If it has vent for a low water to flow, then it is known as the high level causeway or submersible bridge. Otherwise, it may call as the low level causeway. So in simple language, you should understand that in case of maximum flood or in case of maximum water flow, when we constructing a small concrete bridge to control the water flow, so that type of bridge is called as the causeway bridge or small type of bridges. So low level causeway, already I discussed. Small construction for the control of water, it is a low level causeway. It involves the heavy earthwork in cutting for bridge approaches. Bank of such type of stream are cut down at the easy slope. Means as per the requirement of location, we are constructing this type of bridges, and it is also called as the iris type of bridge. You should understand. Sometimes they may ask you in the examination what is the second name for the low level causeways. So in that case, you should know this is the iris type of bridge. Here you can see this is the one L section is shown in the figure. This is the small wall which is constructed with the help of concrete, and this type of walls we are using for the control of water flow. And this is one of the small structure, and when there is a small requirement, in that case we are using this type of structure. Here you can see this is the L section where XY is the vertical section. This vertical section will divided this total construction into two part. Here you can see here my cursor. So this is one portion, this is second portion, and this is third portion. And below to this S section, you can see the XY section where you can find this is US drawal wall and this is DS drove wall. So these are the various wall which were constructed when we are constructing this type of iris bridge. The second bridge is high level causeways. So when there is a maximum flood and if you want to control the water, so in that case we are using this type of bridges. When a velocity is high and stream bed is soft and approach could be of concrete or harder masonry up to a certain distance. Similarly, the road can be formed of a cement concrete slab or stone block set in cement mortar. So in simple way, I can tell you. So when there is a maximum water flow, and if you want to control this maximum water flow, so in that case, when we construct a large bridge, then that type of bridge is called as the high level causeway bridge. So here in this figure, you can see this is the one cross sectional elevation of this bridge, where you can see various openings are shown. These openings are called as the arch opening, and through this opening a normal flood can be transferred. So when there is a high level flood due to the high rainfall, in that case you can open this opening as per the requirement, up to the middle, up to the 1/4, or you can open it completely as per the requirement. So this type of arrangements are provided in high level bridge, and these bridge are very important when we want to control a high flood level or high pressure of the water. So you can see various structures are shown here, various components are shown here. Next, one of the important thing, what do you mean by the culverts? So culverts are the small type of bridges which were constructed for the transportation. You may take an example of railway, or you may find that a box type of culverts are constructed below the railway tracks. If someone want to transfer or travel from one point to the another point, so that type of small bridges is called as the culvert. There are different types of this culvert. They may be classified as a arch culvert, slab culvert, pipe culvert, and box culvert. So box culvert is the very common culvert, and in our last class we already discussed on the box culvert, and you all are familiar with the box culvert. I already told you that when we construct a railway track, and below this railway track we are constructing a small culvert which is useful for the transportation. If that culvert is of box size, then it is called as the box culvert. So when you're going to solve various types of MCQ or various types of examination, so they may ask you what do you mean by culvert and what are the various types of culvert. You have to, or they may ask like, draw the cross section of arch culvert, draw the cross section of slab culvert, or draw the cross section of pipe culvert. Okay, so you should remember what do you mean by culvert and what are the various types of the culvert. So arch culvert, when we construct a bridge and this bridge is of the arch size, then that type of culvert is called as the arch culvert. And this arch culvert consists of the abutment. I already discussed that what do you mean by abutment. So abutments are the end support of any bridge. You should understand what do you mean by, what is the difference between abutment and pier. When we construct the building, so in that case we call as a column or pillar, but when we construct the various support to for the bridges, then it cannot call as a pillar or column. Technically it's called as the abutment and pier. So abutments are the end to end supports of the bridges, and piers are the middle support of the bridges. Same time we constructed the various types of wing wall, parapet wall, and retaining wall. So these are the additional supporting material or types which were constructed on various bridges. Normally this arch culvert is constructed with the help of stone masonry or with the help of breach masonry. Floor and curtain wall may or may not be provided depending upon the nature of foundation, soil and velocity of flow. An oblique view of typical arch culvert is shown in the figure. So here you can see this is the arch culvert. This is one traditional construction where you can see these are the wings wall, abutment and various parapet wall. So this complete construction is come under the arch. Foundation is there, wings wall is there, parapet wall are there, abutments are there, and all this type of culverts are used for the traveling from one point to the another point. And basically this type of culverts are used as a underground for the slab culvert. A slab culvert consists of the RCC slab with or without beams or stone slab. So when we construct a culvert with the help of slab, this slab is constructed with the help of various material like RCC slab or stone slab, then that type of culvert is called as the slab culvert. So here you can see this is the cross section of the slab culvert where you can see this is the RCC slab. You see my cursor, this is the RCC slab which is constructed with the help of RCC material or stone material. This is parapet wall and this is abutment, the end support. These are the wing wall. The wing wall and retaining walls are the additional support which we are providing for the bridges. And you can see how this slab culvert is useful for the transportation. This is the one cross section which you can see here. So that type of construction is called as the slab culvert. Now pipe culvert. Normally when culverts are constructed in the size of pipe, then it is called as the pipe culvert. Here usually one or more pipe of diameter not less than 60 centimeter are placed side by side for the construction of pipe culvert. Okay, so these are the various types of culverts. Here you can see this is one section where these are the various pipe. These are the various pipe which we introduce here for the transfer of water. So this is called as the pipe culvert. When there is need to transfer of water, in that case there is a requirement of circular type of pipe. So we are providing here circular type of pipe which is useful for the flow of water, so that it is called as the pipe culvert. So here you can see this is one section which is useful for the water flow. Now box culvert is very common and everyone you have seen this box culvert. It is of box size, so that it is called as the box culvert. These are provided if the soil is soft and the load has to be spread over a wide foundation area. I already give an example of railway track. When we want to travel from one point to another point under the railway, in that case we are using this type of box culvert. It is in the size of box, so it is called as the box culvert. So here in this cross section you can see this is the box culvert. You can see this is in the size of box, and at support it is constructed with the concrete materials. This is a road surface and these are the wearing cores. And this type of road surface or wearing cores, these are useful for the movement of various types of vehicle, or may be useful for the movement of railway. So this vehicle's movement will be at upper side, and from this below passage, which is of box size, you can travel. Okay, so this is called as the box culvert. Normally we are using various types of RCC, and we are using various types of concrete material for the construction of this box culvert. Now, one of important point is the bridge bearing. Student, we know that when any vehicles are moving over the road, so there will be the vibration. You may take when railway is moving on the track, there is the vibration. So due to this vibration, there may be the chances of developing the various cracks in the structure. Once cracks are developed, structure may damage. So to avoid this various damage to the structure, we are providing the bridge bearing. I understand, or you may know what do you mean by the bearing. In you can see this bearing. We can use this bearing in fan, in table fan, or in a bike. All these are called as the bearing. And once we are using the bearing, this bearing, what is the applications of this bearing? These bearings are useful to reduce the various friction between or among two various surfaces. Maybe it is of circular size, maybe it is of spherical size, and we are using various type of oil and grease to reduce the various cracks, to reduce the various vibrations. So reduce or minimize the various vibration, and there should not be development of the crack. We are putting one additional support to the bridge. We are giving an additional support to the bridge, which is called as the bridge bearing. So now you can see this picture. Now you can understand, this is the RCC slab. These are the various pier and abutment. So you can see here, you see my cursor. So here we have provided this bearing. This bearing is contain various types of material of spherical and circular type. You can see there is not a direct contact of this girder or this slab to the column. In between this girder and this column or abutment or pier, we have provided this bearing. This is called as the bridge bearing, and this is useful to reduce the various vibration, because this bridge is normally useful for the vehicle transportation, or maybe useful for the road transportation, railway transportation, and continuously there is a developments of various types of vibration. So to avoid or to reduce this vibration, we are using a particular type of structure which is shown in this figure. It is called as the bearing. So now see, this is the second figure which will here you can see the details of this bearing. You can see this is one iron material, and this is one circular type of material, and this is your column, and this is your slab. In between this girder and this column, we are providing this bearing, which is made up of various spherical and mechanical part, and which is useful to reduce the various vibration. And it is very important, there will not be construction of any bridge without the bridge bearing. If this is a road bridge, or this is a railway bridge, so in that case it is mandatory to provide this bridge bearing. So by seeing this picture, it will clear you what do you mean by the bearing and how these bearing are useful for the road construction. A bridge bearing is in a bridge of any size. Some allowance has been made for the expansion and contraction of the tank. If you want to reduce the expansion, if you want to reduce the contraction, in that case, we are using this type of bridge bearing. What is the various ideal requirement of bridge bearing, or what are the various applications of bridge bearing? This is very important. To accommodate the maximum expected deck movement and rotation with the least possible resisting force, to perform the satisfactory with minimum maintenance and low friction during the design life of the bridge, and to able to distribute the superimposed load. Once superimposed load is distributed, we can reduce the crack. It is a economical structure. It's having the small size and it is easy to install. And in case of any weather condition, we are using this type of bridge bearing, and it's offer excellent resistance to the weathering. So due to this various ideal requirement of this bridge bearing, we are using it all type of bridges, maybe bridges of small type or large type. Now what are the various function of bearing? We already discussed that the main function of bearing is when there is a temperature variation result in the expansion or contraction of the member. If one end of simply supported member is free to move longitudinally and other end being held in position, changes in the temperature of concrete length or shorten the member without inducing any traces in the member itself. So in small language, I can tell you to reduce the vibrations. Once we reduce the vibration, there is the minimum traces. Once minimum traces will be there, there will not be cracks development. So avoid the crack development and to provide a long life to the bridge, we are using the various types of bearing. It is also useful for the transfer of the horizontal forces due to the braking. We know that due to use of this bearing, we can avoid the various longitudinal and lateral cracks of the structure. It is also useful for the rotation at support due to the deflection of the girders. It is also useful for the vertical movement due to the shrinking of the support. So in the exam, you may like all this point for to reduce the expansion, for to reduce the cracks, we are using all this type of bearings. There are various types of bearing when we are using various iron material for the construction. So we know that there are number of classification of the any material. So this bridge bearing is also classified as a fixed type of bearing and expansion bearing. And you should know what do you mean by fixed type of bearing and expansion bearing. All these things are useful in the purpose of your examination. So what is fixed bearing? The bearing do not permit any longitudinal movement of the girder. They should be able to allow rotation. The design of the fixed bearing depend upon the type of superstructure. Dip base bearing, it is also part of fixed bearing. Hinge type of bearing, steel bearing, and reinforced type of bearing, all this come under the fixed type of bearing. So you should understand there are two types. One is fixed type of bearing and second one is expansion type of bearing. Another part is shallow plate bearing. So as per the requirement, we are using various types of bearing. Okay. So in this figure, you can see that when the bearing is of flat size, when bearing is of flat side, then it is called as the shallow type of bearing. In this figure, you can see this is one side elevation of this shallow plate bearing. It is a flat, so it is called as the shallow plate. Dip base bearing, when the span of the bearing is over to 12 meter, then it is called as the dip base bearing. Steel hinge bearing, when the bearing is made up of various steel material, then it is called as the steel hinge bearing. Rocker bearing, so when we want to carry a heavy load and if your bridge span is more than 20 meter, so in that case we are using the rocker type of bearing. So in this figure you can see this is the circular section or circular part. It is called as the rocker type of bearing. In some cases, we are using various types of rubber for the construction of bearing. So that type of bearing is called as the laminated rubber type of bearing or fixed type of bearing. In some cases, we are using the cement material for the construction, so that is called as the cement mortar pad type of bearing. So student, these are the various types of bearing, and as per the requirement, we are using this various types of bearing for the construction of small or big bridges. Next part is the expansion bearing is there, sliding plate bearing is there. So this bearing, expansion bearing, is permit the longitudinal movement of the girder. Each girder is provided with a fixed bearing at the one end to take the horizontal force of traction and braking, and movable bearing. So in the examination, they may ask you to write a short note on the expansion type of bearing or slide plate bearing. But basically, they may ask you, there are only main two type of bearing. One is the fixed and second one is the free type of bearing. This is the cross section. You can see this is the cross section of slide plate bearing. So student, this way in today's class, we discuss about the one additional part, that is about the bridge bearing. So there are number of types of this bridge bearing, and they are very useful for the construction of the bridge as per the requirement. And you should understand that to reduce the vibration and to increase the length of the and life of the bridges, we are using this type of bridge bearing. Number of classification is there. So main classification is the fixed type of bearing, free type of bearing, and expansion type of bearing. So in the examination, this is a compulsory question that they may ask you, what do you mean by bearing and what are the various types of bearing. So I hope you understand today's concept of bridge bearing. So we will stop here. Thank you. You just wait, then we will continue.